big one.
Or
That
not.
one I
What
didn't know.
did you do in the last? Whatever you did in the last game was different than what you did all day.
I did the big one all day over there.
Yeah, it was only on the ad court.
Really? So what comes
So
close?
you go like this,
Yeah.
and then you do this.
Yeah, 'cause I started.
But it's in the air. It's always in the air, but I'm like, is it gonna touch? But it's fine. You
Okay.
never touched.
All right.
I didn't either.
No, your only thing was you like to be you like to be like right on that line.
Yeah.
This line, and every once in a while you drew it back, and I was like, no,
The
it's
right
still
foot,
good.
right? The right
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah. And you're both of you on the juice bar fine.
The deuce is usually where I should.
Well, that's what
Told
you
me
did
the
in
warm-up.
warm up.
If you would have told me, then I wouldn't have. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks
Every
for looking and
well,
dude.
I remember you from last year.
Wow.
Well, it was like
See,
I
I don't
think
even know
last
how
year
I'm
was like
doing
your
it.
first umpired match though, so nobody had been worried about it before.
This what? Yeah.
Right.
You,
And
did
that's
you
why I
do
was like,
it?
yeah, I
On
did.
this court.
That court, I think.
Really?
One of these.
That's funny.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
where I
man,
remember you
just
from.
gotta work on that.
Yeah. It's not
But
even.
it
It's just I
wasn't
don't
that
think
bad.
about it.
I mean, last year like it was like,
way over.
and
Okay.
today it was like this, and then you just backed up an inch, and then you're fine.
Yeah,
You were
I just
total.
didn't
I mean, you
know
were
where I start.
off of it
Oh,
all
okay,
day.
nice. Thank you.
But I saw the warm up. So
No,
I
see,
tried to
that's
look.
not like in Jersey, they didn't give me warnings in a warm up, and then they were just calling the match.
Like I usually do. But PA State's is a little less. It's not quite as formal as this. It's all. I mean, it's all guys I know well, and so it's kind of a little different.
Dave,
Hello?
can
Hello?
you hear me now? Hi.
I can. Can you hear me?
No, I can't see you, Dave.
I can see my
Can you
picture.
see?
I can't see you.
Are you
Can
mastered?
you?
I'm mastered up, Dave.
So am I. I
And
can't
so,
see you.
Dave, all right, well, I'm waiting for John so we can test, I guess. Dave, so you got our matchup here? Dave,
I
okay. Do you know when
Hero
these guys
Magarris
played?
versus Sakura Morgan.
Yep, they played in Boston, Dave.
Okay.
So,
Hello?
Just in case I go to the 9 games.
I think in tennis though, for warm up, the first one's 7, next one's 9.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not. I have it marked just on my game. All right, let's see what we're gonna do.
That is very cute. Oh, I love it.
Go ahead, go forward. Other side.
All right, I got to take pictures of you guys.
I think we should probably close the door.
Nah, you're all right. Whatever you.
Ready?
You have the balls or you don't have
I
them?
have the balls right here,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna hand me my.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. See, I can turn my flash on, but I don't know if it's going to work. You better work.
Get higher. Good. It's a nice little seat. It's got a little divot for you. There's no seat belt. There is an arm. Oh, we can't
This
get
thing's
the
the
arm
wrong way.
Yeah, it is the wrong way.
That's awful.
We'll have to try to fix that before the final.
Yeah, I would say absolutely, but I don't like it.
Is this hat yours too?
Yes, it is. I might have to leave the ladder there.
I umpired in this chair. It
I
was
don't
all
like
right.
it. I don't like it.
Joe, you need a hat? You mean that one that I just gave him?
I left my 2 pens
Your 2 pens where?
on the.
Just on the thing here or inside?
No. Well, they're inside when you walk in, right underneath the cupboards.
Yeah.
That's right. I left them.
Coming up.
Thank you.
He's so messed up. I used to do in juniors. But, you know, my coach used to do that thing, like throw a day, go around the head, throw it. Pass that to end of my life.
I need a pendant. They were right there.
You got you a Manny's pen.
Where they could have gone?
I don't know.
They were in my breast pocket.
If it dies, let us know.
Gotcha.
Mine died in the middle and then I fixed it.
You wanted to ask if they want to do a toss now, just so I know.
Yeah. When you guys come in, do the spin so that Joe can write everything down before you warm up. That's all. Oh, pictures. We got pictures. Look out.
Sorry, Joe. We're not getting you in the picture.
No desire to be. I'd ugly it up.
Oh, we're gonna have lots of shout-outs, but this is the semis, the Philly Open. Play well.
Thank you.
All right, Joe, you're all set?
All set. Ready to go.
Okay, good.
You guys could just do the flip now so I can write it down.
Yeah.
If you,
And you guys want MRW? It is
We'll receive it.
right.
Okay, we are going to pick this side.
That side?
Yeah. Okay.
Have you always
had that twist?
Really? I have like 10. I have like 7 here.
Jesus.
I have 3 here.
I don't recall seeing the nose one.
Really? I've had it since college.
Do you usually have just one?
Yeah, just the ring. Maybe because it's gold. Maybe it blends in.
Never noticed that?
No, where the heck come
You're all right?
Lynn, you're receiving.
We've never been close enough for you.
Maybe that's what it is.
Hold on.
Lynn, you're receiving. You guys elected to receive.
First, yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing match point. What athleticism.
And there you have it, your APTA national champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up and he's right there.
Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live. Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from Manufacturers Golf and Country Club, bringing you the Philly Open Men's and Women's NRT, a 2022-23 APTA Tour event, which is the 11th stop on the APTA Tour, presented by Remedy Plus and sponsored by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors, Paddle Pro and Fusion, and local sponsors, Xenon and MAPTA organization. I'm Dave Broderick, along with Hall of Famer Patty Hogan, bringing you the women's semifinal match between number 2 seeds Lynn Kiro and Macy Medeiros versus number 3 seeds Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sikora. Patty, welcome, and I'm glad to be on here with you. Can we maybe take a look at the draw and see how the players have gotten here so far?
Sure, Dave. It's good to be here. Another beautiful day, 48-degree day in Philadelphia for this event at Manufacturers Club. And as you can see, the top half of the draw came out predictable, following the seeded players advancing with this dream matchup here going into nationals with Kira Medeiros and Morgan Sikora. No surprises here on the bottom half. Shea Sutter, the number 4 seeds, have also reached the semis against the number 1 seed, Zabori and Hanish, Dave. So it's quite a predictable result so far. Now we're loaded. This is going to be an amazing match, I think.
You know, I look forward to it. They've played before. I believe it was in Boston, Patty, that they've played last time.
Dave, they did have one matchup this year in Boston, and Dave, who won that match? Do you remember?
I don't. Can you share that with us?
Yep. Okay, Dave, Morgan and Sakura actually emerged the winners in that match. And on the far side, on the deuce court, in the white jacket, the taller of the players on the far side, that's Charlotte Sakura, and her partner is Allison Morgan. Allison's out of Chicagoland, and Charlotte Sakura started out at Radley Run, Dave, outside Philly, with the one and only Lori Hissey, and now she owns her own destination camps for paddle, pickle, you name it, Dave. Tennis, Charlotte Sakura can do it all. On the near side in the back, I believe, to the player to our right, that's Lynn Kiro. And to the left with the trucker hat, little maybe red and white trucker hat, that's Macy Medeiros.
Patty, what do you think about this matchup? I think it could be a very explosive matchup. I know Kiro and Medeiros is going to bring a lot of offense, and it'll be interesting to see if Morgan and Sakura could sustain that. Maybe they might slow the game down and try to get into, I think long points may favor them.
Yeah, I think we saw anybody who saw like the match of the women's year was Medeiros and Kiro last week. Finals of Short Hills where Anika Nicolescu prevailed, but it was just a phenomenal match, huge momentum swings. And I kind of feel like Kiro and Medeiros, Dave, they're on the rise. They teamed up after the first event of the year. They've been playing a couple of tournaments. They've played 4 tournaments this year. They won Long Island, where they beat Cooper Petrini in the finals. Detroit, they went out to Anika and Nicolescu. We talked about the Boston result where they lost to Morgan Sakura. And Short Hills, they lost in that finals to Anika Nicolescu. The good thing is for them is Anika and Nicolescu are not here in Philly this weekend, so they don't have to contend with them. And, this is going to be an amazing display because Morgan Sakura, I give them so much credit. They have been grinding. They have been working super hard the last 2 years of their game. On their games, Dave, they've jumped in and really traveled, played a ton of events. They have a win out in Birchwood. They had a win at the Midwesterns, and they had a win in Cleveland. They've had a ton of great results, and I think this match, this feels like nationals, Dave. This feels like a national semifinal, not the last, not the Philly semifinal. That's how good this match is going to be.
Well, we are getting closer to the Nationals, Patty, and this is the time when all the players want to start to really peak and have their games in tip-top shape.
Yeah, this event is part of the APTA Tour. We started at Montclair, and that's where Anika Nicolescu won the first women's event of the year. We went to Medina, and Cruz Williamson won that event. Philly Cricket was won by Hanish Sabori. Charities was won by Hanish Sabori. Then we went to Cleveland, where Morgan Sakura prevailed over Cruz Redesno. We'll talk a little bit more about the rest of the year, but that's a beautiful panoramic shot at the beautiful Manufacturers Club. They got their charter in 1887, Dave. You and I have been there a lot. What a great supportive membership to all the paddle events that come through here, and kudos to tournament director Scott Falatek.
Yeah, no, they really do. The membership supports everything they do with the platform tennis down at Manufacturers, and they come out and fully support all the events. Patty, today in the chair, we're going to have Joe Ryan will be our umpire referee in the chair today.
Everybody's foot look pretty good in the serves, please. I have balls here, so if you want a new ball to start?
No, I'm just saying if you want us to use this one. I mean, we can use it again.
Dave, both semifinals are underway right now, and we look forward to the women's finals tonight around 6 or 6:30, following the completion of both semifinals. Dave, we have a lot of exciting things ahead coming up in the sport of platform tennis besides the Nationals out in Chicago. We've got Team Nationals first weekend in April out in Chicago and in New Jersey. Mike Raleigh's running the show out in Chicago. Greg Morgan's running the show in Jersey. You can we still have a lot of room on the men's side for some teams. You just get a group of your buds, get like 6, 7, or 8 guys, and join in, Dave. Maybe you could get a team. What do you think? Too late this year, Dave?
It could be. I know there's a big sign up for the women's Team Nationals in New Jersey already. I believe it's almost close to 50 teams. I think the last I heard.
There are 50 teams
Good
exactly.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the semifinal round. It's a best of 3 sets with tie breaks. To my left, from Bloomfield, New Jersey, Lynn Kiro, playing her partner playing the ad court from Fairfield, Connecticut, is Miss Marcy Medeiros. To my right, from Highland Park, Illinois, playing the ad court is Miss Allison Morgan. Playing the deuce court from Chesterbrook, Pennsylvania, is Charlotte Sikora. Kiro and Medeiros have won the toss, and they have elected to receive.
All right, Patty, so it looks like we should have a fun match here. You see they elected to receive by winning the toss, which is not
Kiro and
uncommon
Medeiros.
in platform tennis.
Dave, have fun. I'm glad you have a great team for this match.
You know, I'm excited to watch this match, and I think it could be a really fun match for all the viewers out there.
Allison Morgan is start serving for the team of Morgan and Sikora.
And Patty, right after the first point,
Love
right off the first
15.
Hero Medeiros looking to take over the net, play offensive, big return, and they're gonna look to press, and they're gonna look to press the action pace.
15 all.
Again, that time you saw Allison Morgan serve Dave and just stay back on the baseline. They easily gave up the net. No big deal. That's how much respect they have for the baseline play of Kiro Medeiros.
And Patty, I don't think that's a bad play because Morgan and Sikora are pretty offensive and powerful themselves from the baseline.
$15, $30.
All these 4 women are superior athletes, well conditioned. You know, they've played a couple matches coming into this semifinal, but you know, they're at the point in the year where they've thrown in the kitchen seat. They're going to throw out
40.
every strategy they know. They're super comfortable playing against each other. You know, I don't expect too many surprises.
30, 40.
And again, we see a lot of fast-paced action away in the first game of this match.
Game, Kiro, Medeiros, they lead 1-0.
Dave, something interesting in that game. We saw a couple different formations from Morgan and Sikora, and I think one of the things is you know, clearly it was in their game plan to come out here and throw different formations so that they could try to offset the strains from the baseline of Kiro Medeiros. You know, sometimes when teams do it too much too early, they don't quite get settled in. That looked like that game was a little unsettled for them, and Kiro Medeiros looked brilliant in receiving the first game and up 1-love first set, semifinals. That's Macy Medeiros.
Medeiros can serve.
Serving.
Love 15.
Good drive through the middle there.
Watch it.
15 all.
You see Macy Medeiros loves that roller overhead, Dave. That's her favorite shot to hit.
You know, it's a really good shot. She seems to hit it a lot, likes hitting it. We're noticing early on, I think they're going to be content with playing that edge side corner a little bit. I don't know if the sun's an issue, but it seems like they're keeping the ball. They're kind of sort of picking and sticking, and, you know, it's really helping them keep their positioning at the net so far.
Dave, what is picking and sticking? Can you explain that?
Well, I think it's, you know, when you're picking one side of the court, you're just kind of, you know, playing to that side of the court as opposed to moving the ball around side to side. And as you and I both know,
right, when a team gets settled in at the net, Dave, then they can, as a tactical choice, then go and just pick on one side of the court or the other.
Correct. Yep. And I think you and I both know Medeiros and Kiro have to watch the middle ball because Charlotte Sikora does have a big backhand out of the middle there. Like there we see where they crossed it over to the other side of the court.
40.
Just kind of caught them out of position.
Dave, when you say they, you mean when the net team switches it back and forth, they possibly make themselves vulnerable on the next shot, not the baseline.
Correct.
Dave, I love how both teams are totally dialed into this match immediately.
No, this is a really good point. Everybody seems to be focused. Again, I don't know if that was a sun issue.
Morgan
Looked like a routine ball.
One apiece.
But again, a lot of transition. Again, we're seeing a lot of fast-paced action, and that's what's going to make this a fun match to watch.
Yeah, clearly you can see with Medeiros she's got her hat on and sunglasses. She's looking right into the sun there.
15, love.
That's Charlotte Sikora serving. And this is Macy Medeiros about to return. And that's Lynn Kiro moving forward, and that's what you're going to see a lot today from the baseline play of Medeiros and Kiro. They definitely have a lot of confidence in each other's drives, and you'll see the person moving in, always looking for that pop-up volley.
A big return there by Lynn Kiro.
Yeah, and just so impressed with Kiro's play, Dave, over the evolution of her game throughout the course of this season. Just incredible. Night and day difference, and her screenplay has gone from really, a little bit, not super strong after only one season of paddle, but during this season, she has worked so hard. Her footwork is incredible. Her paddle preparation is outstanding. And she and Short Hills came up with every single difficult screenshot that went anywhere over there in that deuce court. And she just came up that side screen repeatedly and just stomps the forehand off of that screen, where the roller is a winner against some of the women's teams, but it proved not to be a winner because of that athleticism from Lynn Kiro in the deuce court last week in Chicago.
Game, Kiro,
Yeah,
Medeiros. They lead 2-1.
Free break serve, Maddie, to start this match. So, Patty, what do you think it's going to take for one of the teams to hold serve in this match?
You know, Dave, I've always said it all comes down to volleys. I don't care how much the game changes, it comes down to volleys. You just got to make them. I think that's where Medeiros and Kiro, if they volley well and work as a team in tandem and they form their wall, I think they're almost unstoppable as a net team. They each have a tendency to drop back a little, Dave, and then they become a little bit vulnerable. And I'll see some, you know, errors on volleys, but when they're totally committed to it, and in a sense just go move forward, you know, as a wall and make themselves a little more vulnerable to a lob, but any good drives that you see at the top of the women's games, I feel really confident in their volley ability.
Yep. 15 all.
Patty, we have Lynn Kiro here serving the fourth game of the first set.
$30-15. $40-15.
A couple of loose points there by Morgan and Sikora.
Yeah, it looked like Morgan was looking right into the sun on that shot. Kind of decelerated as she hit it and didn't get much out of it. And Dave, I just think what's going to be the difference in this match, it's just little mistakes like that. I don't think either team's going to give each other a lot of mistakes, but I think it's just going to come down to a couple. I mean, on paper, this match should be 3 sets, Dave, pretty damn close. What do you think?
No, I'd have to agree. Again, it just comes down to little mistakes here and there, and whoever can make the score, then I think is going to wind up coming out ahead.
Yeah, I think a key for Morgan Sikora on the far side will be Allison Morgan's lobbing out of that ad court, because clearly Kiro, one of the tallest players on tour, you know, she loves hitting a million balls over into that ad court corner. And I think Morgan has great success right there when she does that, when she can lob the player to the right beyond the service line.
Game, Kiro Medeiros, they lead 3-1.
And David, danger
Right,
when you're trying to
hold serve there.
So Dave, one of the dangers when you play a team that I saw in Short Hills, when I saw some teams play against them because of the height of Lynn Kiro, when she is the player to the left, you know, sometimes we'll call it the overhead queen position. She's going to take charge of most of the lobs that come their way. And when she, with her height, Dave, a lot of people would try to lob and they try to make it too good and then they'll lob long, and you just can't afford, you know, lobbing errors at this level to get through to the final.
No, especially when all 4 players on the court are such great screen players, there really isn't a reason to lob long.
Right, and it's really about the lobbing placement and the height of the lobs, and really, you know, creating some indecision for the net team. Lobbing, you know, in between where the 2 players are, so that you're trying to force them to make a decision. And also when you lob in between 2 players, you get 2 players close to the ball and you create some openings for yourself from the baseline. Talked about that Sikora 2-handed backhand and the threat of it in the middle, Dave, and right there it paid off for
30.
Morgan Sikora there. Beautiful swing.
$30 all.
Right there, she had the whole side of the court. Medeiros did, and she's just got to put that ball in play, figure out the right mile per hour, and just get the return in play. And 2 in a row.
30.
That's pretty rough,
Dave. Those are a couple
Dave.
of loose mistakes, like you talked about earlier, that they have to try to avoid.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams have gigantic upsides, but they've got to get rid of just those loose kind of errors. Just the ones that are not really forced.
You. 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 You.
Yep, Dave, there's no doubt. You hear the constant communication with these two teams.
You.
They leave nothing to chance, even if it's obvious.
You're switching. You, no. Okay. You gotta go.
Little cat and mouse. Who does want the net, Dave?
A lot of transition during this point.
Game, Morgan Sakura, Kiros Medeiros lead 3-2.
Patty,
For
did
over
you know for over,
for over 20 years,
Pro
Paddle Pro.
has been,
Dave. Hey,
Yes.
Dave. Do you know that for over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis? The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to www.paddlepro.com and see the commentators want to handle all the lobs as well. Good coverage. Good coverage, Dave.
no, Patty, I wanted to make sure everybody knew about Paddle Pro.
Paddle Pro, owned by Bob Constantine for over 20 years. He's done an amazing job, Dave. Anything that you ever need, rackets related, sneakers, accessories, they've got it all. PaddlePro.com. And they appear to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Dave, they talk about customer service. No one outdoes Paddle Pro's customer service.
Patty, we have Macy Medeiros here serving at 3-2 in the first set of the semifinals of the Philly Open.
15 all.
How do you see
It
there?
comes to Corin.
We're really looking to hit that backhand.
$30-15.
Yeah, if I'm Morgan Sakura, I would pay close attention to the number of times that you hear the paddles hit of Medeiros and Kiro. One of the things they tend to do, is play a few more forehand volleys than some of the other teams, particularly maybe off of Kiro's paddle. And in that last point, what I was going to point out is, I think Morgan Sakura would be well served to just pound 1,000,000 balls on their drives through the middle and just keep making them make that choice in the middle on the volley.
Good point there by Morgan and Sakura.
all.
Charlotte Sakura really dominating play there on that point, kind of controlling, moving the ball around and really controlling the point there. And I think so far in the early going when, as you said, when Allison Morgan's hitting good lobs and it's allowing Charlotte Sakura to move around, it's really paying off for them.
40-30.
We're at 3-2 in the first set from Manufacturers Club. We are on the APTA Tour. Next stop, Nationals in Chicago.
Game, Kiro, Medeiros, they lead 4-2.
So Dave, like that error from Morgan on return of serve on game point against, that's not gonna let them win the match. I think they've got to keep the score close. The score's The score is 4-2, not 4-1 as it says on the screen. But Dave, I think the point is, I feel like Medeiros and Kiro, when they get going, they are really good front runners. Morgan Sakura are going to have to keep this close here in the early going. And my point about like on game points.
Right, you can't miss that return to serve. It's got to be in play. You have to make the volley.
15 all.
Just when I was saying Kira doesn't miss those shots out of that deuce court, she missed one, Dave. I'll give her one mistake.
15-30.
Just an absolute rip from Kira out of that deuce court. And Dave, I always remember one of the things you always say teaching, you know, wasn't the strongest serve right there from Sakura, and Morgan was up there, and Kiro just overpowered her and broke down her volley.
Sakura let that ball go long, and it stayed in there from Medeiros.
And I like what Kira did, Dave. She just laid off the return to serve because there was no threat. No one was serving and volleying. Just put the ball in play. Love that. You can see that they called the switch on the baseline. Kira Medeiros did that, which I think is a really smart play because I think the way Medeiros hits her forehand is a little different than the way Kiro hits it. And I think the more different looks you can give to that net team will serve you well as a match progresses. And you will both have confidence playing both corners.
30-40.
Another break point here for Medeiros with Charlotte Sakura serving.
Forty all.
Patty, there you have another missed return on a break point. And again, I think it's just keeping Morgan and Sakura in the match. It's keeping them hanging around.
Add out.
We'll see if Kira stays back on the baseline. If she moves in, it does put a little bit more pressure on that Medeiros forehand on the return of serve. There you notice Kira just stayed back and Medeiros just rolled in the return of serve, no issue.
Game, Kiros, Medeiros. They lead 5-2.
So, Dave, you could see 48-degree day. That overhead went out of the court, and Medeiros and Kiro have a 5-2 lead. First set, semifinal action from Philadelphia.
Patty, from what you've seen so far in the match, do you think it would be a smart play for Sakura and Morgan to possibly look to just keep more balls in play, slow the play down? Because I think, as to your point earlier, Kiro Medeiros, they want to play fast. They want to keep moving. They want to, you know, they're winning points, so they're willing to go for
15,
some shots.
Love.
Was that in?
It was not.
You know, and they talk about, Dave, how the game changes. What's different? You know, the women's game is just much more explosive than it used to be. But I always feel as you get deeper into the draws, the tempo of play tends to slow down. And I don't want to say people are afraid to miss. People don't want to miss. They just are going to hit their highest percentage shot in every situation. And I think, you know, that's the maturity you see in some players who just make it look so easy and can just play, you know, a point that goes on for 200, 300 shots, and it's not that big a deal for them.
Right. And I think, Patty, obviously, as you get deeper into the draw, I mean, the stakes are higher.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the overheads from Kira and Medeiros. We're going over to that ad court where Allison Morgan was at the time. And now Allison Morgan is in the deuce court. Dave, it's a kind of a little bit like Where's Waldo? They don't want to let Sikora's explosiveness come into this match. So in a sense, they're freezing her out on this 48-degree day.
Yeah, I don't think they want her getting too many big swings. And on this point right here, they're doing a really good job of it.
Sikora's two-handed backhand is a shot she's known for. I think her forehand is beautiful, and this will, tells a lot about her confidence level. If she's going to play some more points over that ad court, it's going to be, if they can have some success, it'll be that she's feeling comfortable and confident on her forehand. Yeah, great movement, side to side from Kira Medeiros as a team, Dave.
40 love.
Yeah. Patty, from watching that last point, do you think at some point Morgan may have to go for a few more drives, maybe make Kira Medeiros think a little bit at the net about just dumping the ball into her corner?
This could be a long answer, Dave, so I'm going to wait a second before I answer that. It might have been even be after the break.
They win the first set 6-2. Guys, we do go into a new ball. Do you want to use the warm-up ball or do you want the new printer? There you go.
We will be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your car, then fuel your body with Remedy Plus.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour presented by Remedy Plus. We are in the semifinal match between number 2 seeds Lynn Kiro and Macy Medeiros versus Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sikora, the number 3 seeds. This is the start of the second set.
$15 love.
So, Dave, Allison Morgan is starting her team off with serving. And again, you see Charlotte Sikora's formation is either Australian, where she's on the same side, or kind of straddling that middle line, an I formation like you see right here. But regardless of what they do, Medeiros and Kira are having their way. And I almost think Sikora should just stay back on the baseline, Dave, and just give up the net from the beginning. I think that it's a warm day. I don't think Morgan's serve is... I don't think she's hitting with a lot of confidence. And if Medeiros and Kiro feel like it's the ball of life for them to tee off, that's going to be a problem. You talked about what we think Sikora. You were asking me before the break, Dave, what you think Allison Morgan needs to do here. Want to talk about that a little bit?
30-15.
Yeah, well, if Medeiros and Kiro are going to hit, try to hit a lot of the balls to Allison Morgan when they're at the net, I think at some point Allison, I think she's going to have to take a couple of swings and at least maybe get them closer to the net so her lobs are more effective, or just maybe make them think about just put the ball back in her corner. I think Sikora's trying to move around and get involved, but Medeiros and Kiro are doing a really good job of playing keep away.
30-40.
We have an update on the other women's semifinals where Hannah Sabori are winning 4-3 in the first set.
They lead 1
in their match.
Nothing.
With Shea and Sutter. So Dave, this match with the overwhelming amount of overheads going over toward Allison Morgan, in that ad court, Dave, what could she do to adjust her positioning?
Well, I think one is she may want to lob more balls down the line. That might give her more looks at the ball coming straight at her and not allowing Kiro and Medeiros to put it in her side screen into the corner. It may also get more balls to go to the middle to Charlotte Sikora. But I think they're going to have to come up with a new game plan, and I think it's going to have to happen pretty quickly.
Okay, so if I'm Allison Morgan and I could whisper in her ear, I think when Kiro backs up beyond the service line, Morgan's got to take a step in on the baseline. She's got those little chip type of short swings, Dave, and I think she's got to change a look, and she's got to hit some of those little chip shots to take some time away from Kiro in particular on her overhead. I think your tactic about lobbing up the line is always that's the number one answer.
15 love.
If you can lob straight ahead, it's impossible for someone to hit it into your corner on two screens. So definitely the lob up the line. I love that call. But I also love the move in because Morgan can shorten her strokes. And I think that would be something where she could just take some time away. Because Kira Medeiros just looked totally comfortable, relaxed out here.
Right, and that's what I was going to say, Patty. I think her moving in and chipping the ball, taking the ball a little bit earlier, is also potentially going to help with creating more movement because, to your point, Kiro and Medeiros look very comfortable at the net, and very rarely have they been out of position.
Kira Medeiros, Dave, as you know, are currently ranked third in the country. Medeiros is an APTA women's national champ when she won in 2020 with Marcela Redesno. Medeiros is currently the director of rackets at Rolling Hills Country Club in Wilton. Lynn Curo played some college tennis, Dave. She's a rackets pro. Newly named rackets pro at Roxitticus Golf Course is that in Mendham, Dave?
It is in Mendham. She will be my neighbor.
$40-15.
So I think that's just a loose shot that at this stage of the match, Morgan and Sikora really can't afford to have.
Game, Kiro, Medeiros. They lead the second set 2-0.
Umpire's doing a great job with everything. He's just left a syllable out of the pronunciation of Medeiros. That's all. Besides that, he's flawless. Yeah, Lynn Curo was most recently at Montclair. She taught tennis at Glen Ridge Country Club, and she's going to be out at Roxitticus. And all those women, Susan Dallas, the whole crew, really looking forward to having Lynn Curo as their new director.
Love 15.
Dave, as you know, Morgan is co-director of rackets out at the Birchwood Club in Highland Park, Illinois, with her husband, Adam.
We were there a couple weeks ago at the Birchwood Club, Patty.
Dave, true or false? Charlotte Sikora would play #1 for Flagler College tennis.
That's true. I'd have to say it's true.
You're right again, Dave.
A couple of short balls there, letting Medeiros move in and really step in and take good rips at those forehands there. Finding a seam right down the middle.
You know, it just seems like this has been Kira Medeiros' match from the first game, Dave. It just seemed like right off the bat, Morgan did the serving first. You know, they right away had to go to some different formations. And, you know, there they both just stayed back. I think that's the smart play to get some good, easy looks, possibly. But here's the thing about Kira Medeiros. They're so rock solid at the net. And I just think, you know, they're going to make 99% of their shots up there as a volleying team. That looked like maybe a let cord, Dave. I'm not sure if that was a let cord.
I think a little bit of unlucky. I think that was a let cord. But, I mean, I can't agree more that Medeiros and Kiro have shown a lot of great hands at the net, very athletic. And it's tough to win points
but
against them when they're at the net.
Yep, and I think Morgan Sikora have to be super disciplined, but just continue to pummel the middle of the court, because I just think that's where, you know, like I feel like Lynn Kiro can be out of position, Macy Medeiros can be out of position, and you hit to the open space, they can reach and cover with their speed and quickness and athleticism, where I just think the only vulnerable spot on them is that middle ball.
And if you watch the way Medeiros and Kiro are playing, you know what? It might not change this match, but at least it gives Morgan and Sikora a better shot at staying in points and potentially winning more rallies.
15-40.
Dave, another long lob there. They just can't afford those kinds of mistakes. I think that's where, you know, throw it up. You know, throw the lob up. Go for a lot of height. Maybe you can get a blitz or force, you know, a little bit of a weaker overhead out of Medeiros and Kiro. Right there, Dave, you saw that ball in the middle, caused a little bit of confusion. And right here again, there's a little bit of confusion. Both players were back, but that's where Sikora had to sense that and make a move in. There was a lot of open court in front of Lynn Kiro, but Sikora didn't recognize that
Kiro,
and move
Medeiros, they lead 3-0.
And Patty, we know,
You know,
when
Dave-
we're playing, there are several different types of misses. You have unforced errors, you have forced errors. I just think, you know, Morgan and Sikora, there have been too many unforced errors on balls that you wouldn't expect them to miss. Again, we talked about Kiro and Medeiros putting pressure on you, but I think the way the match is going, I think a lot of it has to do with just unforced misses on balls that were really uncharacteristic of them missing.
Dave, I just think as Morgan and Sikora continue to evolve as a team and mature as a team, it's exactly that. And I think it comes from their acceptance, like, not their acceptance, but I think when they play the early round matches, sometimes I see them, and they're so freaking nice, they're lovely to their opponents at all times, and I feel like they'll make some unforced errors. And I think great teams who are going to win tournaments, have a shot to win nationals, you just cannot afford those easy errors that we keep talking about. Like, they just got to clean that up. Having said that, Dave, when you're out on the court and you're up against two players who don't appear to have any weakness, that's in itself can cause you to just go for a lob that's a little too good, a drive that's a little too low.
No, I agree.
Sikora just,
And it's
really
sort
has
of
been.
you know, it's a little bit of a tough decision making as to, you know, what is too much and what is playing it too safe, like you said. But they're all high-level players, and you know, they'll figure it out.
Well, here's the deal, Dave. We know the explosiveness from Sikora Morgan is from Charlotte Sikora. She's about 6 feet tall. No, she's really tall. She's got incredible range. She's going to have to insert herself a little bit more in the middle, even like, you know, covering more. Like right there, she showed a blitz, let the ball go through.
15-40.
I think she needs to go take more baseline play. Don't even let Morgan hit a forehand here, and just see if Sikora can't force the play, you know, as a result of going and taking Allison's forehand shots. Maybe she gets some more looks over in the deuce side of the court on her current side that she's playing. Did that make sense, Dave?
It did. I mean, to your point right there, Sikora right now is kind of controlling the point. She took over the net with good transition play. Now she's going to big rollers.
You know, I think when you talk about weapons out here, and you know, at the top level in the men's and women's game, you got to have a weapon that can just take advantage of some short balls from your opponents. And, you know, for Morgan Sikora, you know, that looks to be off of the paddle of Charlotte Sikora here today. And she just has to get herself more involved in the action. See right here, Dave, she's just kind of hanging out. I just think she should take a step or two right there to her left and just continue to pull the trigger on that two-handed backhand. She needs more looks.
Do you think Sikora, Patty, should maybe almost stand in the middle of the court and sort of
I
invite
do think
to hit
she
the
should
ball
go
to
over.
her
Right.
corner?
30,
I think so. I
40.
think she should play over. That's my point. I think she has to sneak over and just squeeze the court. So when Kiro and Medeiros are looking and about to hit their overheads, they look up and they see Sikora and Morgan both over toward that ad side.
40 all.
And if it were me, Dave, I would switch immediately in these points, Morgan Sikora. I would hit the return of serve and then change sides. Because then I think Sikora could have a bigger range on the baseline out of the ad court. It might take away her two-handed backhand slightly, but it could give her a lot more looks.
Right, she'll be getting her paddle on the ball more often and many more times than what she's seeing right now.
Add out.
What's that, the second unforced error from Kiro in this match, Dave?
Yeah, she hasn't made too many. Maybe a couple of returns missed. And, I mean, that's an amazing volley.
Deuce.
Dave, you know what?
Add
Like
in.
right there when it was a little transition and Morgan had a ball that came right to her forehand and she just lobbed it. That was that's as good a look as she's going to get. She's got to pull the trigger there.
Deuce.
Yeah, and I think if nothing else, it's just going to maybe put a little bit of pressure on Kiro and Medeiros, but you've got to make them think. Right now, they're looking for lobs coming from Morgan, and I think she's got to do something to get him closer to the net to create more opportunity by moving him back and forth a little bit more.
Yeah, right there. She just hit an off-speed two-handed backhand, and it just caused the rhythm, Kiro Medeiros, to be, you know, it just made him a little jumpy there, and they got a volley error.
Deuce.
Really good serve off the paddle of Lynn Kiro.
Add in.
Patty, again, quite a few lobs long. I don't know if that 48-degree weather has anything to do with it, but more than you would expect.
Deuce.
Yeah, that was a nice little shot from Morgan using the screen, and she loves those little off-speed shots. That's basically the way she generates offense. She doesn't necessarily have that, you know, one-hit wonder ability off the deck like some of the top women. Her strength or her offense comes from screenplay and creating shots off of the screens. See, I think Morgan, Dave, can even like fake a blitz, just go in and create some activity and just go in, and if they blast the ball, let it go through. And again, the ball could end up on Sikora's paddle. But this is just way too predictable and feeding right into Medeiros and Kiro's net play. Yeah, I love the movement from Sakura here, taking a couple great rips on it. Great defense from Medeiros and Kiro. So Morgan's got to get up there. I think Morgan missed an opportunity.
Medeiros, yeah, they just took the net back over. Unfortunate miss there, but right, you're right. They created something, but then they let Medeiros and Kiro take the net back over again.
Yeah, I think that's a critical mistake right there because they're just struggling to score points from the baseline. When they have the net, they're in better shape. We're talking about Morgan and Sakura. So every opportunity to get to the net, I would think they would take it.
Ball was in.
Thank you.
Ball was in. Add out.
Overruled call there by Joe Ryan, our chair umpire.
Dave, other semifinal, Henderson Zabori won the first set 6-4 over number 4 seeds Shea and Sutter.
Pat, it's interesting to see how the speed of this match is going. Both matches start at the same time, and we're halfway through the second set. And as we spoke about earlier, we expected and anticipated this match being sort of a fast-paced match.
I just feel like Sakura and Morgan have to switch sides, Dave, on the baseline.
I agree with you 100%, only because it just looks like when Medeiros and Kiro are at the net, they're not feeling any pressure. They're just under control. They're putting the ball where they want it to go, and they don't really feel like there's pressure on them.
Add out.
And again, we see Sakura now inserting herself into that point on the backhand down the middle, and now it's add out again.
Game, Morgan, Sikros, Kiro, and Medeiros lead 3-1.
Dave, I think, when you see Sakura and Morgan and the way their offense comes from the baseline, they're just waiting on one situation, and that's to get the ball to Shard Sakura's backhand. I just think as a team, you've got to have a couple more danger spots. You got to make Kiro Medeiros think there is a threat from somewhere besides the one spot on the court, which is the Sakura two-handed backhand.
Right, and I agree, and it's almost like for Medeiros and Kiro, they probably don't even have to go near the center of the court when Charlotte Sakura is over in the deuce side. It's almost like they're creating that for them. I think when Morgan's over in the edge side of the court, I think you're right. Morgan and Sakura feel like they're just letting them push balls in there. I like that little backhand by Morgan right there. At least it's something different. It wasn't just another lob or, a big forehand. It was something different that was a little bit unexpected.
And Sakura and Morgan have played a million tournaments all year. They know which way they're better than. They know, how, as a team, they think they play better with Allison Morgan in that ad court. The problem is it comes down to matchups. And on this day, given that they're down 6-2 and down 3-1, I'm just saying that would cause me, if I were out on that court, to try to find a different tactical way that our team could adjust to the situation.
And again, I think the unforced errors every time they start gaining momentum isn't helping their cause today.
You know, and Dave, this game comes down to confidence, and when you're not feeling it, it's brutal. And you know, Morgan is struggling a little bit, and Sikora is a wonderful, you know, supportive partner at all times. You know, I just don't know. It just looks like they're going to run out of time here.
15-30.
Medeiros and Kiro just, they're not forcing anything. They don't have to. Great court coverage from Morgan right there. Dave Hanisch and Zabori are up 1-love second set in their semifinal matchup with Shea and Sutter. They won the first set 6-4.
$15-40.
Shout out to the Keatings from Ticonderoga and Chatham, and happy birthday to Pam Kern. $30-40. Hey, lucky break. Let cord went wide. You know, and Dave, you just never know what it's going to take for someone to get their confidence back in a match like this. And, you know, sometimes it can just be one shot, one moment, and all of a sudden you just loosen up as a player.
Oh, we definitely see the sort of the momentum shifts in platform tennis all the time. And Morgan and Sikora there picking up 2 points in a row relatively quickly. Maybe let's see if they could build on that here in the second set.
See, and this is where Morgan is just kind of playing the match, like back on her heels the whole time, Dave. And I would like to just see her even just intercept one of these balls and just hit a chip type of shot where she can maybe disguise a little bit off of it, Dave, you know, where she can do that chip lob or chip low. And I'd love to see that as a way for her to create some offense, possibly.
Right, as opposed to just being content with letting the ball go off the screening, throwing up another lob.
Game, Kiro, Medeiros. They lead 4-1.
A proud partner of the APTA, Fusion curates what's next in branded gear and apparel for your company, your team, or your event. With a team of dedicated industry experts, Fusion curates high-end product selections for customization with your club logo, team logo, or corporate identity. Fusion creates a stress-free shopping experience with custom online stores and quick custom ordering to get the gear you need now without any hassle. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion provide you with the gear to fuel your game.
All right, Patty, so we're in the second set here of the women's semifinal at the Philly Open with Lynn Kiro and Macy Medeiros up 4-1. Macy Medeiros serving, and I think it's starting to get late in the second set, and I think Morgan and Sikora are going to, I don't know if they're going to have to try more, or I don't know.
I think they're,
it's,
I think
they
they're
tried
trying
to slow it down. They missed a couple
trying,
unforced errors.
Love 30.
Right. Dave, I just think it's got to be simple. They got to go back. They got to make some shots low in the middle. They've got to put pressure on a little bit of the volleying for Kira Medeiros. Otherwise, Kira Medeiros, with their height and athleticism, have no issue covering any lobs that Morgan and Sikora are hitting. Hanish Zabori are up 2-love in their second set of their match with Shea and Sutter.
15-30.
Dave, the APTA Tour is comprised of 13 tournaments. 12 of them are live streamed this year. Of those 13 tournaments, APTA has 4 Grand Prix events, and players are working themselves toward the end of the season. The APTA Cup, which will be awarded, which includes $40,000 in prize money to the top 4 players in the men's and women's game based on the standings from the APTA Tour this season. Each player's best 6 results will count toward the APTA Cup. Hanish and Zabori have the lead in the APTA Cup with their many tournament wins this season, as do Duran and Mitchell on the men's side.
Patty, once again this year at the Nationals, there will also be the Baird and Fulton Cups for men's and women's play.
30 all.
Yeah, they started the Baird and Fulton Cup last year. Great event, really fun. All the players who are playing in the Open Nationals or Open PTI are eligible.
I think also from, watching this match and our suggestions and thoughts and ideas, I also think part of the problem for Morgan and Sikora is that Hero and Medeiros are playing very well. And to your point, with the lobs, they're really not moving them around that much. They're not making them uncomfortable. So I think that's part of the problem here is that Hero and Medeiros are just doing such a good job throughout this match and making every point difficult for Morgan and Sikora.
Yeah, I talked about how I thought it was critical for Sikora and Morgan to battle in that first set to get the score, to keep the score close, because they've got to make Medeiros and Hero play with some pressure, and you just feel none of that here in this matchup. And the problem Morgan and Sikora have is that Kira and Medeiros are a much better team today. They are playing a really clean paddle match here.
$40 all.
It's a good thing I said nobody's faulted till now for Kira and Medeiros. But I was just thinking that, Dave.
The announcer's curse. An amazing get from Lynn Kiro there.
Great shot from Allison Morgan right there, Dave. She went back. It was a really good lob from Medeiros. Morgan went back, and that's what we're talking about. Her offense comes from off of the screens versus off of the deck.
Game, Morgan, Sikora, Kira Medeiros lead 4-2.
All right, we have a break of serve there for Morgan and Sikora. Let's see how this turns out. And I think if we watch, up until this point in the match, I think, again, as well as Kiro Medeiros have been playing, they've given Morgan and Sikora some opportunities, but Morgan and Sikora have given them back. So let's see what happens here. I think these first couple of points could be very important in this seventh game.
You know, we see a lot of breaks of serve in the game today, you know, in the game on both men's and women's at the top
15
level, Dave.
love.
And I'm not saying you have to hold serve all the time, but you got to hold serve once or twice a set to just take the pressure off yourselves for your, you know, for your baseline play.
Patty, would you say that, to your point of holding serve,
15 all.
you think it's more beneficial or it's more of a mental relief than it is kind of a scoreboard relief? And it's a little bit, you know, to get a hold, you know, this hold serve, it's maybe more mentally satisfying than it is getting a game on the scoreboard?
Yeah, I think it's both, Dave.
15, 30.
You know, I think from the beginning, Morgan started serving and it was a little shaky and you just didn't feel like she was comfortable right out of the box, and the match has kind of played out that way. But I can't, you know, express enough. It's because of the level that Kira Medeiros started this match with, you know, just high level from the onset. Now, you know, when you're playing at 4-2, it's totally different than being, you know, up 3 or 4 games, Dave. So this is scoreboard pressure that now Medeiros and Kiro can feel a little bit, and that's what puts pressure on your opponents.
$15, $40.
Patty, how many lobs do you think we've watched go long from Morgan and Sakura in this match?
Yeah, a decent amount. A decent amount. It's not like they've lobbed short, Dave, because they haven't exposed themselves to too many of the, like the smashing roller overheads that Kiro and Medeiros can hit. It's just, I think that's, I referred to earlier about the height of the team of Kiro and Medeiros and their court coverage. And it just makes you feel like you have to hit almost a perfect lob to build any kind of offense for your team.
Well spotted, backhand off the back screen. There, another really good shot by Allison Morgan off the back screen. And to your point earlier, that wasn't hit super hard, but it was well placed and it was something different.
And you can see the baseline play here of Kira Medeiros, Dave. They are so chill. They're just relaxed. They're not forcing anything. They're willing to just put a whole bunch of balls up in play, and they're really going to wait for the right ball before they're pulling the trigger, even though they're up 6-2, 4-2. They're staying and playing within themselves, minimizing the number of errors they're hitting today.
Well, and I also think that for them, it's a really good strategy because at this point of the game, of the match, they know that Morgan and Sakura can't afford to miss many shots, so they don't want to give away free points. They're willing to wait for that opportunity when it does present itself.
Hannah Zabori up 6-4, 4-1 in their semifinal match against Shea and Sutter. Dave, national rankings before this match, Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sakura is sitting at the number 4 position in national rankings. Kira Medeiros, number 3. And it bodes well for both these teams to go into the national championships, you know, as a top 4 seed. Delmonico Gebbia are not playing this weekend. You don't see Gio and Williamson who are next in the rankings. The next team is Shea and Sutter, who came into this event number 7 in the country. But it looks like Hanish and Zabori have their number today here, and So I would expect both these teams to be in top 4 seeds at nationals.
How do you have a score update? Hanish and Zabori are up 4-1 in the second set after winning the first set 6-4 over Shea and Sutter.
Dave, are you a good listener or are you a better talker?
I'm learning to be both.
I'm goofing on you, Dave. I'm goofing on you, Dave. Kira Medeiros up 5-2.
Guys, I have a new ball here for game 8.
Kira Medeiros are up 5-2, as you can all see in this semifinal action from the Manufacturers Golf Country Club outside of Philadelphia. Kudos to Scott Falatek. APTA Tour Director Jackie Cameron is on site, as always, running the show, doing a great job maneuvering all the players and matches throughout the course of this 3-day event. And we'll see if Madeira and Kiro can close this out. We've got Lynn Kiro attempting to do so right now, up 5-2.
Good return 15. There down the line by Charlotte Sakura.
All.
Seeing, Morgan let that ball go to the screen again. It's almost like she's not even looking to hit a drive off or return a serve, Dave. And,
right.
Kiro's height and the speed at which she hits the serve looks like it's bouncing up pretty high for Morgan. She's not one of the taller players out here. But I think she could even try standing in closer on the return of serve and taking that ball in the rise from Lynn Kiro.
30-15.
Real deliberate overheads from Medeiros, just straight ahead, taking the ball from Morgan and returning it right back to her. Then there's very little shifting needed at the net. You almost see very little movement from the team of Kiro and Medeiros. And I'm saying that in a good way, Dave. They're not hitting it side to side, so they're not forcing themselves to have to be in a chase the whole time out here.
No, correct. I mean, they're playing very patiently as this set's getting later and later.
Double match point late.
All right, Patty, and that the first semifinal finished at the Philly Open with Lynn Kiro and Macy Medeiros defeating Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sakura 6-2, 6-2.
So, Dave, that means Kira Medeiros are in the final, and it appears that they're headed for a matchup against Hanish and Zabori, who are up 6-4, 4-1 in their semifinal action.
No problem. Thank you.
And
Dave,
Patty,
just announced again.
Go ahead, I'm
Dave,
sorry.
you go. Dave, you go.
I was going to say that was a fun, exciting match. A lot of transition, a lot of power. I think Morgan and Sakura maybe made it a little bit easy for Medeiros and Kiro with some unforced errors at unfortunate, untimely times. But to your point earlier, I think Medeiros and Kiro played a really solid, patient, well thought out match.
Dave, I totally agree. They had outstanding play from Medeiros and Kira. They gave nothing away to Morgan and Sakura, who appeared to be a little off in their game and their confidence today. And we'll be headed for an interesting final here, slated to start, I think, at 6 o'clock tonight, Dave.
Yep, Patty, absolutely. And that's a wrap from the women's semifinals of the 2023 Philly Open. We'll be back at 6 p.m. with the women's final.
High performance, never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your car, then fuel